Do you ever feel like no matter what you do, everyone else seems to have their life together while you're struggling just to keep up? Maybe it feels like others have more money, better opportunities, or even more luck. This feeling is incredibly common, and today I want to explore 7 reasons why you might feel financially behind. As we go through them, we'll uncover whether there's any truth to these feelings at all, or if it's all just a trick our minds are playing on us. It's easy to look around at someone driving a luxury car or wearing designer clothes and assume that they're financially successful. But what you see on the surface often hides the full picture. Imagine you've budgeted $500 a month for transportation, and you decide to finance a 2022 Honda Civic. It's a modest, practical car, and after payments, insurance, and gas, you're right at your budget. You're responsible with your money, and in a few years, you'll own the car outright. Now, let's say your coworker, Steve, who earns the same salary as you, pulls into the parking lot in a shiny 2025 BMW 330i. You can't help but wonder how he's able to afford such an expensive car. Over lunch, Steve casually mentions that his monthly payment is about the same as yours. At first, you feel like you're doing something wrong, until you learn the details. Steve leased the car with a significant upfront payment. His insurance costs are double yours, and he'll have to return the car in 3 years. Meanwhile, you'll own your Civic for years to come. The lesson here is that judging by appearances rarely gives you the whole story. It's easy to get caught up in what others have, but their choices might not align with your values or your long-term goals. Instead of comparing, focus on your own progress and what makes sense for your life. Another reason you might feel behind is that people's spending habits are often invisible. Let's say you prioritize experiences. You go to concerts, you take trips, you invest in things that bring you joy. Your friend, Jill, on the other hand, she spends her money on high-end handbags, expensive jewelry, and regular spa treatments. On the surface, Jill might seem wealthier because her spending is more visible. But you just don't see that Jill has no savings, she has no investments, and she often feels stressed about maintaining her lifestyle. Meanwhile, you've built an investment portfolio, you've saved for emergencies, and you've collected incredible memories from your experiences. While Jill's spending is flashy, your approach is quietly setting you up for more secure and a more fulfilling future. People value different things, and that's okay. But it's just a reminder that comparing lifestyles is rarely fair or accurate. Social media amplifies this problem. Every day, we're bombarded with images of influencers living seemingly perfect lives, traveling to exotic destinations, driving luxury cars, and wearing designer clothes. But the reality is that many of these lifestyles are curated just for show. True wealth is often quiet. I once met someone who's worth over $100 million. You never know it by looking at them. They just wore a simple shirt and jeans, drove a modest car, and avoided anything flashy entirely. Their wealth wasn't something they felt the need to display. In fact, many wealthy people prefer to stay under the radar for privacy and security reasons. Growing up, I also knew a girl from a very wealthy family. Her social media made her life look pretty average. Her vacation photos were just landmarks like the Grand Canyon or maybe a beach, and that's about it. What she didn't show is how she got there. Private jets and 5-star resorts. She didn't flaunt her wealth because she didn't need to. It's a common trait among truly wealthy individuals. They don't need the validation from others. On the flip side, studies show that many of the luxury goods we see on social media are purchased on credit. And maybe they don't even have enough money to completely pay it off. Younger generations, in particular, often finance expensive items to appear wealthier than they really are. So, the next time you see someone flaunting a luxury lifestyle, remember that you're only seeing what they want you to see. Comparing ourselves to others is something we all do, but it can be incredibly damaging. And let's be honest, we rarely compare ourselves to people who have less than us. Instead, we look up to those who are seemingly more successful, creating feelings of inadequacy. Take job titles, for example. Being a director or a VP might sound impressive, but titles vary widely between industries and companies. At one company, a VP might manage hundreds of people, while at others, it might be a mid-level role. Hell, at most banks, everyone is technically a VP, even the janitor. Titles are often inflated, especially at startups where companies use them to attract and retain employees. Instead of getting caught up in titles, ask yourself, am I learning new skills? Am I making progress towards my goals? Am I happy with the value that I'm creating? These are far better measures on success than comparing titles. It's also easy to feel behind when we expect way too much too soon. Social media and news outlets love to highlight stories of overnight success. Someone who turned a small investment into millions, or a business that went viral seemingly overnight. These stories can make steady progress feel insignificant. But they're the exception, not the rule. What you don't see are the years of hard work, the failure, and the sacrifices that often precede these moments of success. For every viral success, there are countless untold stories of people grinding away step by step. Building wealth takes time and patience and consistency. So don't let unrealistic expectations discourage you. Another reason we feel behind is that we often assume others had it easier. But the truth is, you never know what sacrifices someone made to get where they are. That investment banker with the six-figure salary, they're probably working 80 or 100 hours a week and sacrificing their personal time, their life, for their job. The entrepreneur who made it by 30, they likely spent years living frugally and taking risks to build their business, maybe living out of their car. Everyone's journey is different, and what works for one person might not work for another, or even appeal to you. Instead of envying someone else's life, focus on what success looks like for you and take the steps you need to achieve it. Finally, let's consider the role of family wealth. Some people seem financially successful because they had a head start, whether it's an inheritance or financial gifts or generational wealth. Maybe their dad put them in charge of the business. This doesn't mean that they didn't work hard, but their path was undoubtedly different. If you didn't have those same advantages, it's not fair to compare your journey to theirs. What you can do is focus on what's within your control, your own growth goals, and your own progress. Remember that everyone's starting point is different, and the only person that you should compare yourself to is you and who you were yesterday. At the end of the day, feeling behind financially is more about perception than reality. Instead of focusing on what others are doing, put your energy into building the life that you want. Invest in what makes you happy. Work towards your goals. And remember that progress, even if it's slow, is still progress. Just remember, the only comparison you should make is whether or not you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, as I post 2 free videos each week on building your wealth, financial news, and financial education. It's free, so please subscribe. Leave a like on the video and leave a comment below telling me if you pay attention to the fake nonsense on social media or not. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.